Hello everybody, Quiet Atheist here. I want to take a moment to thank Negation of P for the idea of this new video project. The moment he suggested it to me, I thought it was an excellent idea. I also thought that I should jump on it right away. For those of you who haven't heard of Negation of P, a link to his channel will be provided in the description below. If you haven't subscribed to him yet, I implore you to do so. He does some really great work. He is also the co-host of the Skeptic Fence Show, which, by the way, a link will be provided for that show in the description box below as well. So I hope you all enjoy this video, because shit is about to hit the fan, so to speak. You know, we as a species are unique. I often find that when I observe human behavior, I develop an overwhelming feeling of disgust, so to speak. Here's why. You see, people like to put themselves on pedestals. They like to have this position that lets everyone know that whatever they have to say is correct, regardless if they are wrong. You can never get them to admit it though, and that is one of the things that I hate the most. They use arguments that have been debunked time and time again. One of the things that annoys me the most is that the fact that they will ask things over and over and over again. They try to ask this particular question from all angles. They try to get you trapped in these gotcha arguments, where they will also try to get you to contradict yourself. To me, that is social dishonesty, and I cannot stand it. And in this video, I'm going to point out a few people. To me, they do not have anything to say that is of value. Now, to begin the exposure of this debacle, I'm going to start with the agnostics that came to my channel. One of them was actually quite civil, and we had a decent discussion. By the way, Agnosticism campaign, I still need that information that you were going to send to me. So I'd appreciate it if you send me the information. Thank you. The other individual in question was quite the opposite. Right from the beginning of the conversation, he comes off as this arrogant individual with a chip on his shoulder. He thinks that he is correct regarding everything that he knows. Later on in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the things that he had said. One particular thing that he said, I wanted to show you that it got me pissed. I was livid, to tell you the truth, when I read what he had to say. He goes by the name Militant Agnostic. Before this conversation, I never even heard of the term Militant Agnostic. Now I have heard of many, such as atheist, militant atheist, anti-theist, theist, and I think even Gnostics. I'm not sure. You might have to correct me on that last one. But the term militant agnostic, I never even knew that term existed. At the time, it seemed to me that people were just throwing names on their title just to look important, so to speak. So I went out and did some research. I could not find a proper definition for militant agnostic. The only thing that I discovered was a saying that they use, and I quote, "I don't know, neither do you." Naturally, that is not enough information for me. With that said, I'm going to need more. Perhaps a source, militant agnostic. He also mentioned that a man by the name of Thomas Henry Huxley, I believe, coined the term back in 1869. You are correct. However, he wasn't the first one to come up with agnostic points of view. So originality is thrown out of the window when it comes to agnosticism. Earlier thinkers and written works have promoted agnostic points of view. They include Protagoras, I believe, a 5th century BCE Greek philosopher, Sanjaya Belatthaputta, a 5th century BCE Indian philosopher, and the Nasadiya Sukta concerning the origin of the universe in the Rig Veda, an ancient Sanskrit text, which is one of the primary scriptures of Vedic Hinduism. And this is something that I wanted to share with you because this is something that we disagree on. You give all this credit to Huxley when he was actually not the first one to come up with what you're talking about. During the course of our conversation, I mentioned to you that many people consider me to be an agnostic atheist. I also told you that possibly it would be the position that would best fit me. What offended me the most about your reaction to this was the fact that you said I was doing nothing more than stealing the term from Huxley, so to speak, and that you were completely against it. You said that there is no such thing as an agnostic atheist, which I tend to disagree with, and I beg to differ. Just to show you what I mean, I'm going to provide you with a definition of agnostic atheist. Then I'm going to elaborate on Richard Dawkins' 7-point scale. Agnostic atheism: the view of those who do not believe in the existence of any deity, but do not claim to know if a deity does or does not exist. That is something that I want you to realize. Militant agnostic. Dawkins has this 7-point scale. I'm going to elaborate on numbers 1, 6, and 7. If you want to examine this further, the information will be provided for you in the description. Number 1. A strong theist. 100% probability of God. In the words of C.G. Jung, I believe, I do not believe, I know there is a God. Number 6. De facto atheist. Very low probability, but short of 0. I don't know for certain, but I think God is very improbable. And I live my life on the assumption that He is not there. Number 7. Strong atheist. I know there is no God, with the same conviction as Jung knows there is one. I have a position similar to Dawkins. My position is this: I am a 6.9. During the course of our conversation, militant agnostic, you were throwing out an insult here and there, little jabs, and none of them really bothered me that much. But there was one thing that aroused my curiosity, so to speak. You had mentioned that there is this big wall. Okay, and by big wall I mean really tall. And that you were sitting at the top of it while you and all agnostics were sitting at the top of it. And you mentioned something that really got under my skin, so to speak. You mentioned that because you were sitting on this tall wall, that you had a better perception of reality than atheists do. And that our perception is completely retarded, basically, is what you were saying. And how do you define reality? I'm curious. I really am curious. Because I told you something. And in this video I'm going to say it again. It's not sitting on top of the wall that gives you a better perception of reality. It is falling off the wall and actually feeling the existence of pain. And with that said, I think I'm done here with you. I know that I said I was going to be done with this, but I felt I had to say one more thing. You see, when you bring insults to an argument, it doesn't prove your validation one bit. All you're doing is creating this illusion where you think you're winning. And to me, that doesn't work at all. I'm sorry to disappoint you there. You were spouting off a lot of ad homonems, and that really doesn't give you the attention that you deserve. Your validity isn't supported whatsoever. And I never once insulted you. I tried to sit there and have an open discussion with you, and yet you seem to insult. You created these straw mans. And just in case you don't know what a straw man is, I'll tell you what it is. You see, you created this scenario where you can actually defeat it. You couldn't actually defeat what I had to say, but you created this scenario where you actually defeated it. Therefore, you yourself claim victory. And that, my friend, does not work. Period. Okay. I want to talk about this other character on YouTube who also seems to have trouble grasping what I have to say. So I'm going to take a little time to talk with him here on this video, and hopefully by the end of this video he'll understand what I have to say. So without further ado, let's begin. Jaboto Kelly, I want to talk to you for a minute, because it seems to me that you are having trouble grasping what I have to say. Asking the same question over and over again is a classic example of this. You and this militant agnostic character have so much in common regarding this particular situation. Now, I don't know why you do not understand the fact that I was not making a claim. So I'm basically here to spell it out for you, and I hope you can understand. I want you to pay attention. It seems that you have trouble doing this, so I really want you to try. I really want you to make an effort in this. So let's go. Okay. I was not making a claim that a God did not exist. I was simply pointing out the absurdity of there being one. In the video in the past, the one that I had made, you know, the one that you commented on, I displayed the criteria of a God that he or she has to meet if he or she actually existed. The criteria is a perfect example of how it would be impossible for this existence to happen. I do not have to prove God's non-existence. Just look around you. Where is the proof that he does? You and people like you have been making these claims for centuries without having any shred of evidence to support your claims. You or people like you make the claim that we were created in his image, yet you fail to come up with answers and evidence to support that claim. You also fail, and people like you fail, to offer an explanation on why there are conjoined twins, for example. Theists fail to explain why there are people who are born with elephantitis. Do you know what elephantitis is? I suggest you look it up. Is this what God looks like? Because if we were created in his image, this would be a little more credible if he ever existed, but he doesn't. You claim that he created this world for us to live on. He created it so perfectly for us. You also say that he created us so perfectly, and that he poured all his love into us. First off, we live in a cosmic shooting gallery, where at any time we could be snuffed out by any rogue asteroid. Solar flares, comets, black holes, etc. can literally wipe us off the face of the planet. Yet we are told that God designed this planet so perfect for us to live on. We die of disease, hunger, and violence, and other things that are killing society on a daily basis. Yet you and people like you claim that God designed us so perfectly. There is overwhelming evidence that shows that a God does not exist. For the record, I do not believe that a God does not exist. I lack the belief in one that does. That is my default position as an atheist, and I do not have to prove a damn thing. You, however, do have to prove your position. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. You, or people like you, claim that God poured all of his grace into this world, but look around you. Do you see it? Do you see it anywhere when you look around? I don't see it anywhere. Look in these killing fields, so to speak, where children die because parents got a word from God to cut their arms off, where children die because God told them to starve them to death, where children die because of these so-called faith healers, where children die because God somehow wills it. If he actually existed, this would be one sick God with one sick imagination. And you have the balls to come up with these fancy arguments that don't mean a damn thing to me. Cut through the chase already. Show me the evidence that he exists. All the fancy arguments in the world ain't going to prove a damn thing for you. However, actual evidence will prove the existence of God. I just want you to know that. You and other theists cannot sit here and give me evidence for anything. You will spew your arguments like there is no tomorrow. There is no evidence that suggests that a God exists. In fact, your religion itself is a mockery of other religions. Everything that you believe right now has been taken from paganism. Whether it be the Christmas tree, whether it be the holiday itself, whether it be the birth of Jesus, which has nothing to do with Christmas whatsoever, simply because he was born sometime during the summer. Yet you guys claim this day of the month. But what gets me the most is after you copy all of these religious intents, so to speak, from paganism, you turn around and condemn them for their beliefs, when actually the beliefs that you took from them are theirs from the beginning. I mean, credibility is just shot out the window as far as that is concerned. You cannot sit here and tell me that you have evidence. You cannot sit here and tell me to look around and see, because I don't see anything regarding evidence to the existence of your God. With that said, I really want you to pay attention, because this is the last time I'm going to engage with you. I do not desire repeating myself. So I hope that you can get the message, and I hope that anybody else who has the same doubts that can get the message. Because quite frankly, I don't know what else to say. I lack the belief in an existence of God. I do not believe that he does not exist. There is a difference. One more thing that I wanted to talk about is that you were trying to intellectually bully me. You were trying to throw out these insults and trying to degrade my character, so to speak. And this really doesn't work with me. Like I told Militant Agnostic, does not prove the validity of your argument whatsoever. If you wanted to have a complete rational discussion with me, then I would have been all for it. But yet you failed to do so. You rather assert your propaganda than actually provide evidence for it. With that said, this invitation goes out to Militant Agnostic and you yourself, Joboto Kelly. Let's have a healthy discussion on Skype. Let me know what you guys think. And perhaps something could come out of this. Because quite frankly, I'm tired of hearing the same old crap over and over and over again. Because it's getting nowhere. And maybe we can organize something. Not a debate though, because debates seem so redundant to me. Let's just have a healthy discussion. I'm waiting. I just want you to know that. Now, can you really expect a rational argument out of this? I don't think so.